Hello, folks. This is Eric once again, and this time we are going to do some exercises on the onset of the Brazilian colonization. Okay, here you have a map considering the division that was made of the territory during this period. Okay, so the first question is from the Mackenzie University, and it says, yet it was becoming increasingly clear that American lands would be lost unless a major effort was made to permanently occupy them. This effort meant diverting resources from much more productive companies in the East. Yes, the Indies, right, where the Portuguese already profited a lot. Right? Well, to ensure its presence on American lands and circumvent the high expenses of a colonization, the Portuguese government introduced the system of captaincies, which transferred to private individuals in exchange for privileges and land the expenses of colonization. What do you think about this? Yes, guy, it is right. Let me activate here my pen. The system of captaincies. Yes, this is what we see here in this map, right? You see the captaincies division, right? And this was the way that the Portuguese crown found to make the exploitation of the new territory not so expensive, right? Yes, the Indies were not that profitable anymore. It was not worth it, for the Portuguese to keep investing only on them. And besides, there was the fact that, the territory was being constantly invaded by the French and other powers in Europe that were interested in acquiring, those territories. So the Portuguese decided to invest on it, but they also decided that it would be better to start, by attracting individuals, right? Private individuals that in exchange for privileges and land would exploit, the territory and colonize it, right? So yes, the correct alternative is alternative A. Very good. Question number 2. Read the following document. This man is one of the greatest savages I have come across. When he met me, he brought with him an interpreter because he does not know how to speak Portuguese, nor is he any different from the most barbarian tapuyas. Even though he claims to be Christian and is married, he is assisted by 7 Indian concubines. And from this, it may be inferred that since he acquired the use of reason, if he has ever had it at all to date, that he has been walking through the woods hunting Indians. I wouldn't say Indians here. Indigenous here is a better term. Let me change it here. Indigenous. Very good. Men and women. So that he has been walking through the woods hunting indigenous. Men and women. The later for the exercise of his sexual turpitude, and those for the attainment of his economic interests. And the question goes on. The document shows the description made by the Bishop of Pernambuco, Don Francisco de Lima, about a head trailblazer Domingos Jorge Velho. This description indicates an antagonism between Catholic religious and trailblazers in the Portuguese America during the 17th century. Based on the analysis of the document and its historical context, one may conclude that such opposition was associated with the fact that the church condemned the enrichment through slavery, contrary to the aforementioned economic interests of the trailblazers who established themselves as suppliers of slave labor to various captaincies. Not really, guys. The Jesuits, or the Catholic religious leaders, they were not totally against slavery. They even preached, the permission that the Catholic Church gave to the African slavery. This is something that is gonna be unfolded in the following decades, right? In this initial period of colonization, but they were against the slavery of the indigenous peoples in the new territory. And that's what we see here. They defended, the Catholic Church defended the catechization of the indigenous and their organization in religious missions. Yes, they were interested in not only catechizing them, but also in having them as a support to their religious missions, thus condemning the flags of seizure alluded to in the passage, walking in the woods to hunt indigenous peoples. Indigenous peoples. Or people, simply. Right? Yes, so this is the correct alternative. And here you have a picture of Domingos Jorge Velho, right? Well, basically this is it, guys. The other alternatives are also wrong, right? Despise a nativist culture constituted in the captaincy of São Vicente, where the customs and the Portuguese language were rejected. No way. Rebuke the association between trailblazers and tapuyas implied in the passages in which the priest states that Jorge Velho did not differ from this ethnicity and that he maintained concubinage with such indigenous. No. Consider that the settlers were devoid of reasoning, as indicated by the religious when doubting that the trailblazer possessed reason. No, he didn't doubt that the trailblazer possessed reason in the literal meaning, right? Because he understood that this is achieved through ecclesiastical studies. No, that is not true. That is not entirely true, right? So yes, the correct alternative here is alternative B, as in ball. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video, and see you in our next video.